Have you ever found yourself standing at a crossroads, knowing exactly who your twin flame is, yet choosing whether out of fear, confusion, or exhaustion to open your heart to someone else? Maybe you told yourself you were simply moving on, doing the logical thing, or trying to forget the connection that shook you to your core. But deep within, something feels off. You sense a shift in your energy, a disturbance in your emotional field, as if your soul is whispering, "This choice carries consequences you cannot yet see." And today, you may be wondering why your heart feels torn, why your spirit feels misaligned, or why the connection still echoes through your life, even when you try to silence it. In this sacred reflection, we will guide you into the unseen layers of what truly happens when you try to replace your twin flame with another person. We will explore how this single decision ripples across emotional, energetic, physical, and spiritual levels, creating shifts you may not even realize are happening. You will learn why the soul reacts the way it does, why the connection intensifies or becomes distorted, and why the universe responds so powerfully once you step out of alignment with your twin flame frequency. Together, we will lift the veil so you can finally understand the deeper mechanics behind this moment that so many on the journey face but few ever talk about. By the end of this video, you will not only understand this experience, you will see yourself and your connection through an entirely new lens. You will gain clarity where there was confusion, peace where there was doubt, and spiritual insight where there was emotional chaos. This revelation will help you realign with your truth, honor your soul's knowing, and make choices that support your highest evolution instead of fragmenting your energy. You will walk away more empowered, more awakened, and more deeply connected to the divine purpose behind your twin flame journey. Section 1. The energetic activation of twin flames. Before we explore the emotional, spiritual, and karmic aftermath of the twin flame journey, you must first understand the magnitude of what actually happens at the moment of recognition. This is not just a fleeting spark, not just a surreal emotional reaction, and certainly not just chemistry or attraction. What unfolds between twin flames in that instant is nothing short of an energetic event, a soul-level activation that touches every layer of your being. When two twin flames cross paths, the encounter is far more than a meeting between two individuals. On a subtle but unmistakable plane, two soul signatures, mirrors of one another, finally come face to face again. The moment your eyes lock, something ancient within you stirs, as though remembering a truth you had forgotten lifetimes ago. This is not imagination, nor wishful thinking. It is the inner recognition of an energetic match so precise, so familiar, that your entire system responds with an intensity that cannot be fabricated. In that split second, a silent yet powerful download takes place. You may not hear it, you may not consciously interpret it, but your soul does. Your energetic blueprint begins shifting, recalibrating itself to align with the frequency of the bond you share with this person. It is comparable to initiating a spiritual software update, one that instantly upgrades your awareness, heightens your intuition, accelerates your healing, and awakens dormant parts of your consciousness. This activation reaches far beyond emotions. It is mental, physical, spiritual, and vibrational. Something in your energy field expands, something in your mind clears, something in your heart unlocks, something in your intuition switches on. Suddenly, you feel connected to something deeper, larger, and more profound than you can logically explain. This is the sacred recognition that so many twin flames speak of, the moment that marks a before and an after in your life. And here is the part most people do not realize. Once this activation occurs, it cannot be undone. You cannot erase it with logic. You cannot silence it with distraction. You cannot override it with willpower. The activation is permanent because it shifts your energetic frequency to a higher octave, one that your twin flame naturally resonates with. Even if your conscious mind tells you that moving on is the rational choice, even if you try to date someone who feels stable, kind, or emotionally available, even if you convince yourself that the twin flame connection was an illusion, your energy knows the truth long before your mind catches up. After recognition, Your energetic signature keeps vibrating at the frequency awakened through your twin flame. This frequency becomes the new baseline of your being, and no matter how hard you try to move on, your essence continues to resonate with that awakened vibration. This is why replacements do not work. This is why distractions eventually fall flat. This is why your heart feels out of sync when you try to force yourself into a connection that lacks the same depth, intensity, or spiritual resonance. This brings us to the very first invisible consequence that arises when you choose to move toward another person after encountering your twin flame. A consequence that begins not in the physical world, not in your logical understanding, but in the energetic space within you, the space that has already been awakened, reconfigured, and claimed by the recognition of your soul's mirror. Your energy cannot lie, your soul cannot go backward, and your frequency cannot be silenced once it has been awakened to its true counterpart. This is why the aftermath feels so intense. This is why moving on feels unnatural, even if it makes sense on paper. This is why your heart and energy respond long before your thoughts do. It all begins here with the activation that forever changes the way your soul recognizes love. Before we move into the next section, I invite you to take a quiet moment to sit with what you've just heard. Let yourself feel where this activation has touched you in your heart, in your intuition, or in the places within you that still seek clarity. The twin flame journey is not something you merely understand with the mind, but something you remember with the soul. And I would love to know what is awakening within you as you listen. Share your experience in the comments. Let your voice join the collective energy of this space before we explore the next layer of this sacred connection. Section 2. Internal energetic dissonance. Internal energetic dissonance is one of the first and most powerful consequences that surfaces the moment you begin to invest romantically or physically in someone other than your twin flame. It does not arrive gradually, it announces itself in an unmistakable way, almost like a sudden static of the soul. This dissonance is the collision of two entirely different vibrational fields attempting to coexist within one energetic body. One vibration belongs to your twin flame connection, an elevated frequency that awakens higher consciousness, intuitive knowing, and a form of love that bypasses logic and defies ordinary relationship patterns. The other vibration belongs to a conventional, third-dimensional relationship, one shaped by emotional security, companionship, routine, attachment, and the practical needs of human connection. When you try to hold both frequencies at the same time, your internal world becomes conflicted at its deepest layers. Imagine trying to conduct a full orchestra performing a delicate, angelic symphony while someone else simultaneously blasts raw, distorted heavy metal into the same concert hall. Neither sound is inherently wrong, but they cannot harmonize. Your energy system becomes the stage where these two conflicting melodies clash. This internal chaos does not appear because you lack emotional maturity or because the new connection is unhealthy. It appears because the twin flame frequency does not shrink, adjust, or dilute itself. It remains unwavering, pure, and present, even when your human self attempts to move on. As a result, you may find yourself experiencing sudden waves of sadness during moments that should feel pleasant or exciting. You might sit across from someone who seems kind, stable, and compatible, yet feel a strange hollowness in your chest or a soft ache behind your ribs that has no logical explanation. During moments of physical intimacy, intrusive memories or images of your twin flame may arise, catching you off guard and leaving you wondering why your body remembers something you are consciously trying to forget. No matter how reasonable the new connection appears on paper, the emotional or spiritual rightness simply doesn't land in your system. This dissonance does not remain only in your emotions. It filters through every layer of your being. Spiritually, you may feel as though your intuition becomes clouded or muted. Energetically, your heart chakra may tighten, almost as if resisting an energetic imprint that does not match your soul's truth. Mentally, you might experience looping thoughts, confusion, irritability, or a constant inner conflict between what your heart whispers and what your ego tries to rationalize. Eventually, the body itself begins to echo the contradiction. Unexplained fatigue, pressure in the chest, headaches, insomnia, and sudden waves of anxiety often appear not as psychosomatic reactions, but as honest biological responses to a misalignment between your soul's blueprint and the path you are attempting to follow. The body becomes the messenger, sounding an alarm that something energetically incompatible has entered your field. Internal energetic dissonance is not a punishment, nor is it a sign that you are failing at moving on. It is simply the natural outcome of trying to blend two frequencies that were never designed to operate together. The twin flame connection carries a signature so distinct that your energetic system recognizes when it is being replaced, diluted, or ignored. And because your soul cannot lie to itself, the misalignment becomes impossible to suppress. This experience serves as one of the clearest indicators of the depth, truth, and resonance of your twin flame bond. It reveals that this connection is not merely emotional, it is energetic, cellular, and deeply encoded within your spiritual identity. And even when your human self chooses another path, your soul continues to speak through the dissonance, reminding you of where your true frequency resides. Section 3. Telepathic interference and energetic crosstalk. One of the most profound and often most unsettling effects that arises after twin flames recognize each other is the persistence of an energetic communication channel that simply does not close. Recognition is not a moment of romance. It is an activation. It is the ignition of a spiritual circuitry that binds two souls across space, time, and physical circumstance. Once this channel is awakened, it cannot be undone through willpower, logic, distance, or distraction. Even when you attempt to move on romantically, the telepathic bond remains active, pulsing softly beneath your awareness like a living thread of light. When you begin interacting or becoming intimate with someone new, you may notice sensations that feel out of place, almost like energetic echoes that do not belong to the person in front of you. You might feel your twin flame's presence brushing against your awareness, sense their emotions flowing into your field, or receive sudden intuitive insights that carry their tone, their energy, their signature. It can feel as though two conversations are happening at once, the physical one with your new partner and an unspoken, invisible one occurring beneath the surface with your twin flame. This phenomenon is not fantasy. It is not emotional projection. It is not wishful thinking. It is the natural result of two energetic systems that have synchronized at a vibrational level far beyond the limitations of physical reality. Once two souls merge at the twin flame frequency, their energy fields begin to communicate in a way that bypasses the mind entirely. You don't think the connection, you feel it. You don't imagine it, you perceive it. For some, this telepathic presence becomes especially noticeable in moments of physical closeness with another person. You may feel watched, not in a literal sense, but in an energetic sense, as if the soul of your twin flame is aware of your actions through the tether that binds you. Their energy may brush against yours with curiosity, sorrow, confusion, longing, or even quiet resignation. Their emotions leak into your field organically because the two of you are still operating within a shared energetic loop. This crosstalk often becomes strongest when you try hardest to detach, because the twin flame bond is not regulated by human logic. Your attempts to move forward with someone new may actually intensify the telepathic link. You may find that your twin flame enters your thoughts suddenly, without context, almost like a soft whisper coming from beyond the veil. You may feel their emotional state, sadness, fear, yearning, or even physical sensations intermingling with your own. In the space where your new partner stands, your twin flame's presence may hover invisibly, creating an emotional noise that makes it nearly impossible to be fully attuned to the person in front of you. The most challenging part is that the communication is not one-directional. Your twin flame feels you too. They may not consciously realize what is happening, but their soul detects the shift when your energy mingles with someone else's. They may suddenly experience anxiety without reason, a hollow ache in the chest, irritability, or a subtle emotional recoil they cannot explain. They may dream of you, think of you without provocation, or wake with the sense that something has changed. This is because the energetic link between you transmits information continuously, even when you are physically disconnected. This interference creates an emotional and spiritual environment where being fully present with another person becomes extremely difficult. You may attempt to invest emotionally, but part of your awareness remains elsewhere, attuned to a frequency that cannot be shut down. Even when the new partner is loving, supportive, or aligned on paper, the telepathic pull toward your twin flame makes the connection feel incomplete, fragmented, or energetically crowded. The purpose of this experience is not punishment, it is clarity. Telepathic interference reveals the undeniable truth that your soul still communicates with the one it recognizes as its mirror. And until that energetic bond is honored, understood, or reconciled, every relationship outside of the twin flame dynamic becomes layered with subtle contradictions, emotional cross-signals, and an inner split that cannot be resolved through logic alone. Imagine this. You are sitting across from someone new at a quiet cafe. The conversation is pleasant, the atmosphere warm, the person kind and attentive. On the surface, everything appears right. Yet suddenly, in the middle of their sentence, you feel a soft pull, an energetic tug that feels unmistakably like your twin flame. A memory of their laugh flickers through your mind without warning. You hear their voice in your intuition, not as a thought you choose, but as a presence that arrives. Your chest tightens gently, as though a part of your heart has shifted its attention elsewhere. The person across from you continues speaking, unaware that your energy has split. You try to focus, but a wave of emotion rises. Maybe sadness, maybe longing, maybe confusion. And while the person in front of you smiles, your twin flame's energy feels suddenly heavy, almost as if they sense you drifting into someone else's orbit. They may feel it miles away, an inexplicable ache, an anxiety that comes out of nowhere, a sudden drop in their mood. You sit there, nodding politely, but internally, you're holding two worlds at once. This is telepathic interference in real form. Not dramatic, not supernatural, but a deeply human moment where the soul's truth interrupts the mind's intentions. It is the lived experience of being physically present in one place while energetically tethered to another. Section 4. The unavoidable mechanism of automatic energetic comparison. There is a truth about the twin flame journey that becomes unmistakably clear, and the moment your soul awakens to this connection, your entire energetic system recalibrates. It reorganizes itself around a singular frequency, a vibration so ancient and familiar that it becomes the new reference point by which all future connections are measured. And what is most astonishing is that this comparison is not something you choose or consciously decide to make. It begins happening automatically, silently, continuously, and without the slightest effort from your rational mind. Once you have felt the energetic signature of your twin flame, your body, your intuition, and your subconscious all begin to operate from that imprint. It becomes the internal tuning fork that vibrates in the background of your life, even if you do not speak about it, even if you try to suppress it, even if you attempt to move forward with someone new. Your inner world does not forget. Your mind may try to redirect your attention, but your energy remembers with perfect clarity. You may meet someone who seems ideal, someone who is kind, attentive, emotionally available, grounded, or even spiritually aware. On paper, they may appear perfect. They may check every box. They may show up in ways your twin flame never could at the time you met. You might genuinely appreciate their presence, enjoy the conversations, or feel comfort in the stability they offer. And yet, in quiet moments, something deep within you begins to speak. It is subtle at first, a faint sense of misalignment, a gentle awareness that their energy does not interact with yours in the same way. You notice that although they are wonderful, the feeling is flatter, quieter, or less textured. The emotional depth, though real, does not touch the innermost layers of your being the way your twin flame's frequency did from the very beginning. Conversations may flow beautifully, yet lack that electric undercurrent of familiarity that only your twin flame carries. Affection may bloom, but it remains soft rather than soul-shaking. No matter how much you try to be present, to give the new connection a chance, an invisible comparison is happening within you. not out of judgment, not out of idealization, not because your twin flame is perfect, because they are not, but because the resonance is different, the alignment is different, the energetic echo is different. You may find yourself searching for a feeling you cannot fully name. You may experience moments of sudden emptiness, as if something essential is missing. You may lie beside someone new and feel safe, and yet simultaneously feel an aching distance within yourself, a quiet reminder that this connection does not reach the depths your soul has already known. The contrast is not about the person's character, worthiness, or potential. It is purely energetic. It is a matter of vibrational truth. This is the essence of twin flame comparison. It is not nostalgic longing. It is not emotional immaturity. It is resonance, pure resonance. Your twin flame resonates in a way that bypasses the mind entirely. It vibrates through your heart, your nervous system, your memory, your intuition, and every spiritual layer of your being. It awakens parts of you that no one else has ever touched. It draws forth truths within you that no other connection has ever illuminated. And once you have experienced that level of recognition and alignment, every future connection is naturally measured against it, not by choice, but by vibration. This is not a punishment. It is not a limitation. It is not the universe denying you new love. Instead, it is an inner compass guiding you toward authenticity. It prevents you from settling for something your soul knows is not aligned. It shows you where your true resonance lies and where it does not. It brings clarity, even when clarity is uncomfortable. The comparison is never about perfection. Your twin flame is not perfect, and neither are you. It is not about choosing the most flawless connection. It is about choosing the most resonant connection, and nothing, absolutely nothing, carries the same energetic signature as your twin flame. Your soul knows it. Your heart remembers it. Your energy recognizes it. Even when your mind tries to deny it, the vibration of your twin flame becomes the template of truth, the reference point, guiding you toward the connection that mirrors not only your love, but your essence, your purpose, and the deepest expression of who you are meant to become. Section 5. The fragmentation of presence and the split within. One of the most profound and often misunderstood consequences of attempting to pursue another relationship after recognizing your twin flame is the fragmentation of your own presence. This fragmentation is not simply emotional confusion or indecision. It is an energetic split that begins the moment you try to invest in a connection that does not resonate at the same frequency as your twin flame. It is the sensation of living in two worlds at once, neither of which you can fully inhabit. As you step into a new relationship, part of you moves forward because it seems logical, or because you believe time should be enough to soften the intensity of the twin flame bond. You may convince yourself that stability, consistency, or compatibility are valid reasons to try again with someone else. However, beneath the surface, another part of you remains tethered quietly, unshakably to the presence of your twin flame. This tether is not a choice. It is an energetic fact. Your consciousness refuses to detach from a connection that awakened your soul at its deepest level. This creates a split within your awareness. You may go on dates, laugh, share stories, and even try to experience intimacy, yet a silent portion of your being is elsewhere. It remains tuned to that unmistakable frequency, that subtle hum that continues vibrating through your emotional and spiritual body. You begin to notice that moments that should feel joyful feel strangely quiet. Experiences that should feel fulfilling feel muted, as though the emotional volume of your life has been dialed down to half its normal intensity. This fragmentation becomes most apparent during moments of closeness with someone new. You may find yourself physically present, but emotionally absent. Your mind participates in conversation, but your heart is observing, comparing, remembering. You may even experience moments of affection, but there is a subtle disconnect, an incompleteness that you cannot explain. It is as if part of your essence refuses to fully enter the moment because it already belongs elsewhere. Daily life begins to reflect this internal divide. You move through responsibilities, routines, and plans, yet a quiet undercurrent of awareness persists, the twin flame connection still pulsing beneath the surface, reminding you of the frequency that awakened your soul. You may feel as though you are drifting through your days instead of inhabiting them. Even in peaceful or happy environments, you sense an invisible thread pulling your attention inward toward a bond that refuses to dissolve no matter how far you try to step away from it. The exhaustion sets in slowly. At first, it may feel like a mild restlessness, but over time, the duality becomes draining. You begin living in two realities simultaneously. The outer world, where you attempt to cultivate a new connection, build routines, or form emotional attachments. The inner world, where the energetic link with your twin flame continues to anchor itself, whispering truths that your mind tries to ignore. This dual existence becomes unsustainable. You may feel emotionally stretched, spiritually depleted, or even physically tired. The effort of trying to be present in a connection you are not fully aligned with creates stress on your energetic system. You sense that no matter how hard you try to invest in the external relationship, something essential is missing. Something within you remains elsewhere, tied to the vibration that first awakened your soul. This split does not allow genuine fulfillment to take root. Real presence requires wholeness, and wholeness becomes impossible when your heart and consciousness are divided. The fragmentation of presence becomes your inner compass, telling you, with increasing clarity, that you cannot build something meaningful while ignoring the truth of where your soul is still anchored. Eventually, the exhaustion becomes the awakening. The fragmentation reveals itself not as a punishment, but as a deeper truth. Your soul refuses to abandon what your mind tries to forget. Your presence cannot fully attach to anything misaligned. Your wholeness remains tethered to resonance, not logic. The twin flame connection does not compete with your life. It simply reveals what your life can no longer pretend. If you've made it this far, it means something within you recognizes yourself in these words. This is not just information, it is a mirror reflecting your own experience back to you. So before we move forward, take a breath and check in with your heart. Have you felt this fragmentation? Have you lived in two worlds at once, trying to move on while a deeper truth kept calling you back? I invite you to share your story in the comments, or simply anchor your energy with this affirmation. My soul remembers its truth. Write it if it resonates. Let this be your moment of recognition, of honesty, and of connection with others walking this same path. Section 6. Soul Resistance and the Unseen Saboteur. There is a point in the twin flame journey that very few people speak about openly, yet it is one of the most powerful forces shaping your path. It is the moment when the mind claims it is ready to move forward, but the soul remains rooted in a deeper truth. Outwardly, you may appear stable, even determined, telling yourself that it is time to try something new, to date someone else, or to open a fresh chapter of emotional possibility. But on the level of the soul, another story is unfolding, one of resistance, remembrance, and sacred protection. Soul resistance is unlike emotional hesitation or ordinary fear. It is subtle, almost invisible, yet profoundly disruptive. It reveals itself not in conscious decisions, but in spontaneous reactions, unexpected impulses, and mysterious inner tensions that arise the moment a new connection begins to develop. Your soul, deeply attuned to the unique vibration of your twin flame, instinctively recognizes when another relationship is not aligned with your true frequency, and instead of allowing you to anchor into something that would distort your path, it intervenes in ways that can feel confusing, self-sabotaging, or even frustrating. You may find yourself withdrawing without warning from someone who seems perfectly kind and compatible. Conversations that should feel light begin to feel heavy. Interactions that appear promising become drenched with discomfort. You may catch yourself creating distance where closeness should naturally develop, or pulling away the moment emotions deepen. Sometimes you will notice yourself creating conflict where none truly exists, misinterpreting words, feeling irritation over small things, or sensing a subtle emotional offness you cannot logically explain. To the untrained eye, these appear as flaws or patterns of avoidance. But on the spiritual level, They are protective mechanisms, signals from the soul that something is misaligned, that the new connection lacks resonance with your authentic vibration. Your soul is not punishing you, it is protecting you. This resistance often intensifies the closer you come to forming a serious bond with someone new. What once seemed pleasant suddenly becomes draining. What once felt interesting begins to feel hollow. A date can be going well, yet an inexplicable sadness rises in your chest. A relationship can be unfolding smoothly, yet you feel emotionally absent, disconnected, or strangely uncomfortable at moments when you should feel excitement. It is not rejection of the person, it is rejection of the frequency mismatch. And this internal resistance does not merely stay within your waking thoughts. It follows you into the dreamscape, where the truth of your deeper connection finds expression when the mind can no longer interfere. You may dream of your twin flame more frequently. Visions filled with emotion, symbolism, or inexplicable familiarity. These dreams may bring comfort or longing, clarity or confusion, but their purpose is always the same: to remind you of a bond your soul has not released. Synchronicities also intensify. You may see their name everywhere, hear songs that once belonged to the two of you, encounter repeating numbers, or feel energetic waves that remind you of their presence. These signs are not coincidences. They are signals from the unseen realms, gentle nudges guiding you back toward alignment with your higher path. Often, people try to suppress these cues, telling themselves that it is time to move on or be realistic. But the more you push yourself into a connection that does not match your true vibration, the more your soul pushes back. The discomfort heightens, the emotional unrest grows louder. Small challenges in the new relationship start to feel magnified. You may feel a constant sense of being off, out of place, or not fully present, even when things appear stable on the surface. This is not weakness. It is divine intervention. Your soul resists because it understands what your mind tries to forget, that the twin flame connection is not replaceable, not interchangeable, not something that can be duplicated through effort or logic. It is a vibrational imprint, a recognition encoded beyond the realm of ordinary relationships. Soul resistance is the unseen saboteur only when you misunderstand its purpose. When you begin to see it clearly, it becomes the guardian of your truth, the voice that refuses to let you build a life on foundations that cannot sustain your spirit. It reminds you that you cannot force resonance, you cannot fake alignment, and you cannot override the wisdom of the soul with the reasoning of the mind. The more you attempt to override your inner truth, the louder the resistance becomes, because the soul, your soul, remembers, and it will not let you forget who holds the frequency of your deepest recognition. If you've made it this far, it means something within you recognizes yourself in these words. This is not just information, it is a mirror reflecting your own experience back to you. So before we move forward, take a breath and check in with your heart. Have you felt this fragmentation? Have you lived in two worlds at once, trying to move on while a deeper truth kept calling you back? I invite you to share your story in the comments, or simply anchor your energy with this affirmation: my soul remembers its truth. Write it if it resonates. Let this be your moment of recognition, of honesty, and of connection with others walking this same path. Section 7. Returning to alignment and the path of authentic integration. There comes a moment in every twin flame journey when you begin to question whether your attempts to move forward are truly rooted in healing, or whether they are subtle forms of escape. After the recognition, after the energetic activation, after the moment your soul remembers what it has spent lifetimes searching for, trying to move on is not a simple human decision. It is a direct negotiation with your own energetic truth. And most of the time, this negotiation creates a quiet but powerful contradiction within you. What is really happening when you try to detach from your twin flame is not a lack of willpower or an inability to move forward. You are attempting to live out two opposing realities at once. Your mind is trying to construct a path based on logic, practicality, and emotional safety, while your soul is anchored in an awakened frequency that refuses to be dismissed. This inner tension creates confusion, exhaustion, and emotional fragmentation because you are trying to override a truth that has already been activated at the deepest level of your being. This does not mean you are destined to wait forever. It does not mean your entire life must revolve around the twin flame connection, or that you should close yourself off from meaningful human relationships. What it does mean is that you are being called into a level of self-honesty that most people never reach. You cannot heal through denial. You cannot evolve through suppression. You cannot create alignment while pretending you feel something you do not. The path forward requires radical transparency, not with the twin flame, but with yourself. When you stop wrestling with the connection internally, when you stop pretending that your heart feels a way it does not, when you stop forcing your energy into bonds your soul cannot inhabit, a quiet transformation begins. This moment of surrender is not about giving up. It is about finally acknowledging your inner landscape with honesty, compassion, and spaciousness. It is about choosing integrity over pretense. For many, this means stepping into conscious solitude, not loneliness, but clarity. It is a choice to create space for healing rather than rushing into another relationship that will only amplify internal conflict. For others, it means entering new connections with transparency, acknowledging where your heart is and where it is not, instead of performing emotional availability that does not exist. And for some, it means pausing altogether to integrate the experience of recognition, to recalibrate emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. Whatever form it takes, the moment you stop fighting yourself, a shift happens. The sharp edges of pain begin to soften. The heaviness you've been carrying loses its weight. The sense of being pulled in opposite directions slowly dissolves. The mind and the soul stop competing. The heart stops clenching. And the emotional fragmentation that once felt overwhelming begins to weave itself back into a coherent whole. This inner coherence does not necessarily bring immediate external changes. The twin flame may remain silent. The physical circumstances may look the same. The future may still feel uncertain. But internally, everything transforms. You begin to breathe differently. You move through your days with more peace. You feel less reactive, less triggered, less conflicted. You are no longer living in contradiction with your own energy. And when that alignment begins to anchor within you, something profound occurs. New pathways, new opportunities, new timelines, and new spiritual openings begin to reveal themselves quietly, naturally, without force. Because when you stop resisting your truth, you stop blocking your destiny. This is the return to alignment. This is the beginning of authentic integration. This is the moment your soul finally feels heard. From here, the path forward begins to unfold, not through effort, but through resonance. When the soul recognizes its twin flame, something irreversible awakens within you. It is not a moment you simply experience. It is a transformation that reshapes every layer of your inner world. You no longer relate to love the way you once did. You no longer move through life with the same unconscious patterns, and you can no longer fit yourself into connections that do not match the vibration your soul has already risen into. This connection was never meant to bind you or keep you stuck. It was meant to wake you, to expand you, to draw you toward a version of yourself that is more authentic, more conscious, and more aligned with your true purpose. That is why the memories linger, why the energy remains alive within you, and why nothing feels quite the same afterward. It is not obsession, it is not longing, it is recognition, a resonance that exists beyond the mind's understanding. If you found yourself reflected in these words, if this message felt less like information and more like remembrance, then you already know the truth your soul has been whispering all along. A frequency created for you cannot be substituted, diluted, or replaced by anything else in this lifetime. This is not meant to burden you. It is meant to guide you back to who you truly are and what your soul is destined to experience. So if this message touched your heart, I invite you to anchor this truth right now. Type in the comments, "My frequency cannot be replaced." Let this be your affirmation, your declaration, and your reminder that your soul's path is unique, sacred, and unfolding exactly as it should.